last day before break. The only thing that got me through waking up this morning is remembering that I can sleep in as late as I want to tomorrow, and believe me, I'm going to. So it is Sunday, December 11th. Yesterday, Saturday, I did absolutely nothing school related. Probably the first time I've done that all school year, and it felt absolutely amazing. I was able to clean, I got my Christmas decorations up, I did laundry, and I feel so much more rejuvenated and ready to be productive today. So you'll see I've got just comfy gym clothes on. I'm gonna go to the gym later this afternoon, but until then, I'm gonna get a couple of things prepped for this week. So I went on a really big shopping trip yesterday to Michael's and Hobby Lobby and Walmart and a whole bunch of other places. So I'm gonna show you quickly what I got. So at Walmart, I got a couple different food items. These are for the 5 days of Christmas that I'm gonna do with my class this week. So these are just plain animal crackers. I got a whole bunch of these like puffy mints. I think I got three bags of those. Then I got 2 big things of Whoppers, which are one of my favorites, so I'm really hoping that there's gonna be some extras left over. What else did I get? I got these plastic zipper like bags. These are actually in the jewelry section, and this was a 100 pack for only $2. I wanted to get cello bags, but they were a lot more expensive, so I figured I'd just go with these. Hopefully those will work out okay. These cherry sours. I was supposed to get red gumballs, but I could only find a huge thing of gumballs, so I decided to go with those instead. And staples. I just need staples for my class. So for the gifts my students are gonna make for their parents, I did get these ornaments. These are glass, which preferably I would have gotten plastic, but they were all out. I definitely waited too long this year to go. So I'm just gonna have to hope and pray that no one drops their ornament. But I did get these half off. So it says $8.99, but I actually got both boxes for $8.99 total. To go along with that, I got some of this gift trim. It's basically red ribbon. I think this came from Hobby Lobby. These are gonna get tied up at the top. And then I got a couple different paint colors. I got just a plain white acrylic paint. I think this is, yeah, silver acrylic paint, green acrylic paint, and then red acrylic paint. So I will show you when I make my tester what I am doing for their gifts. The last thing that I got were these thank you cards. I have a lot of thank you cards, but I don't have any that are like actually Christmassy, so I figured I'd go ahead and get those for any gifts I get from my students. So I decided to try something different for my student gifts for my parents this year. This is one of those ideas I saw on Pinterest, and I really hope that it actually works out the way it says it will. Essentially, you take the ornament, open it up, you put a couple drops of each different color paint, and then you swirl it around. So it creates like a marbled effect on the inside. I don't know if it's actually going to be that easy to do or if it's actually going to look that good when it's done, but I'm going to do a tester one. That way I know what I'm getting into when my students do this week. So this is the finished product. Overall, I'm happy with how the colors turned out. I was worried that they were going to like blend together and just turn into an ugly brown, but that didn't happen. I have it upside down in this small Dixie cup to give it time to drain out the extra paint, and hopefully that'll help it dry faster. I'm gonna let it sit and I'll check on it later tonight and see how it is doing. I'm a little bit scared to try this with my kids just because it was time consuming and I had to keep adding paint to the areas that weren't covered, and I had to really play with it and get the paint to kind of roll the way I wanted it to. But I'm gonna try it with them. Hopefully it goes well. If not, we'll just do some other kind of craft on like Thursday or Friday. So this is the last week before winter break, so I'm gonna be doing something called the 5 days before winter break, which is a TPT product that my coworker found. I'll put the link to it down in the description if you wanna use it for next year, or if you have another week of school, and if that's the case, I'm really, really sorry for you. But basically, it's 5 days of gifts, and they're all small gifts, which I really like, and there's activities that go along with it, which is fantastic because that is a teacher's best friend before winter break. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep those now so that they're ready to go. Day 1 is a week of no homework, so all I have to do is print the passes for that. Day 2 is reindeer noses, which are Maltic milk balls, and it's supposed to be red gum balls, but I'm using these cherry sour candy things that I found instead. Day 3 are elf pillows, which are those puff mints. Day 4 are animal crackers, and day 5 is a book and a bookmark, and I already got the books off of Scholastic, so all I have to do is print the bookmarks. So I'm gonna go ahead and prep those now. Side note, I got this candle from Walmart and it was only a couple dollars and it smells absolutely amazing. And my favorite part is when it melts, it looks like syrup. I'm gonna start by packaging the reindeer noses, so I'm using these plastic bags. The cherry sours will be Rudolph's nose, so they each only get one of those, and then the rest will be these Whoppers. So I just finished bagging all of the malted milk balls, and next I'm gonna put in the cherry sours because I'm assuming these are gonna be sticky and I didn't want my hands to be sticky. Good thing is, I have almost a whole container. I think I only took like 20 out of this container of Whoppers, which means I get to eat them. So all of my reindeer noses are bagged. I think what I'm gonna do is bag all of the items and then I'll put the labels on all of them afterwards. Next are the elf pillows, and I'm using these soft peppermint puffs. I wanted to get like a huge container of them, but I couldn't find it, so I just got these smaller bags. I haven't decided yet because they're individually wrapped if I want to unwrap them to put them in the bag. I think it would look better, or time saver, I should probably just put them in wrapped, but we'll see. Am I serious right now? This is literally nothing. I take back everything negative I said about these mints. Here are 2 packs that each have 2 mints in them, and then here's a third one. The elf pillows are all now done, and I do think they look better out of the package, but this is the aftermath. So if you're doing this and they're pre-packaged in plastic, I'd recommend just leaving them in the plastic. So last but not least are the animal crackers. I'm thinking I'm gonna give each student like 8 of them, and yes, I am that OCD that I'm actually gonna count them out for each student. So now I'm done all of the animal crackers, and all I need to do next is print all of the labels and attach them. So I actually made up my own tags because I wanted to make sure that they would fit the bags that I had perfectly. So I just quickly made these up on PowerPoint, and when I get back, I will print them out and attach them. So I'm gonna take a break now, go to the gym, and I will catch you guys in the next clip. So I'm in the process of printing and cutting all of these labels. I already have done the no homework passes, and now I'm working on the labels for the bags. So just a recommendation, I do have this Fiskars cutter at home, and you can see this orange one is what I use to actually cut them out, but then I do use this black one. This is for scoring. So I just make a score line where I want to fold it, and then it makes it much, much easier to fold it in half and put it on the bags. It's kind of hard to see, but if you look closely, you can see that score line right above, and then when I go to fold it in half, it makes it much, much easier for me. So I just finished prepping them all, so I have all of my reindeer noses, all of my elf pillows, and all of my herds of animal crackers. The next thing I'm going to do is write my student names on the back of the bookmarks, laminate them, and then cut them apart. So the 5 days of Christmas gifts are all prepped and ready to go. All that's left is wrapping the Christmas books for my students. So it's Monday, December the 12th. It's pouring down rain. Today is hat day, so I got this hat from Michael's. I thought it was really cute. I'm leaving late again. Don't be surprised. Even after a long weekend, not a long weekend, just a normal weekend, but it felt long. I'm still exhausted. I still couldn't get up early, so it's 7:39. I'm leaving. I'm gonna go get coffee, go to school. We have a half-day field trip today. We're going to one of the high schools at one county over from us to see a theater performance of the BFG, so I'm really excited about that. Then in the afternoon, we're reviewing for our county reading assessment tomorrow. Joy. And then we have a dress rehearsal for their winter performance, and that's it. So pretty easy day. Last Monday before break. As long as I can get through today, I'll be good.
You guys, how she was offending the Hawaiians because of her itchy butt on the rock.
So it's a good thing I came in and looked around, because apparently the washi tape I used was not strong enough to hold up the elf on the shelf, and I think that would have been very traumatic for my kiddos. So normally on Monday morning I have their spelling list sitting out at their seat, but today I have their first day of Christmas gift, a week of no homework, and I know that they're going to be super excited. So it's lunchtime. We got to the play this morning, and it was supposed to be the BFG, but somehow it ended up being Fantastic Mr. Fox, so my kids were super confused the entire time, which was actually a little bit hilarious. Came back, indoor recess because it's pouring outside. Now I'm at lunch. So far, so good. My kids are actually doing well considering it's like a spirit week and they have hats, which I was a little nervous about, but it's actually going well. So fingers crossed it stays that way for the rest of the day. So it's now my planning time. My students are actually at their dress rehearsal for the music winter program. You can see this is what my classroom currently looks like. These are the activity page that go with the 5 days of Christmas pack. So they started it before we left, but we did not have enough time to finish. So it currently is a complete pigsty. This is one of my students' elves that they bring from home. So I guess I'm just gonna leave them on their desks so tomorrow morning when they come in, they can work on them. Normally in the morning, they copy down their homework and their agenda, but since they don't have homework this week, they don't have anything to do in the morning besides just read, so hopefully this will help keep them entertained for that time. So I went to each of the tables and cleaned up all of their papers, put their paper clip on top, and I feel so much better. We had indoor recess today because it has been pouring down rain, so I used that time to stuff the papers into my student mailboxes so they are all ready to go for Tuesday folders this afternoon. Ideally, my mailman should have done that, but he didn't, so I was stuck doing it. I have these papers from the beginning of the year. These were models of plants that they made for science, and these all have no names on them. None of the students have claimed them, so I've decided that they're going to go in the special filing system I like to call the trash. Another day, another leftover iced coffee that I didn't have time to finish. So the last week before Christmas break equals take out every DVD I own that's possibly related to Christmas. So at the end of my planning time today, I spent a little bit of time updating my student data binder. So again, I just keep my student data form right at the beginning of that student's tab, and these are just numbered by the student numbers. And we had progress reports go home last week, so I was just updating their progress reports. So I try to keep this as updated as possible. Sometimes it does take a couple of days to get the information in there, but I like to keep it up to date. So at any time, if I have to hold a conference or meet with admin or anything like that, I've got all of my information in one place. So I got this card from one of my coworkers today and I thought it was super cute, and she wrote me a really nice message, and then I got a Dunkin' Donuts gift card, which is always appreciated, and it made me realize that I still need to figure out what I am doing for my coworkers sometime before Friday. So it's about 4:17. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I do need to still wrap their books for their Christmas gifts on Friday, but tomorrow night we have PTA, which we have to stay for since it's the winter performance, and I'm gonna have to stay until like 6 o'clock that night anyway, so I figured I'd go ahead and do that tomorrow. So for now, I've gone ahead and put out their gifts for tomorrow, the second day, which is the reindeer noses. I've set up my elf on the shelf. I'm gonna get out of here. I need to stop by Michael's on my way home and get more paint for their ornaments because they used a little bit more than what I anticipated. I also need to get a pair of earrings from there that I bought this weekend and accidentally threw away. Still upset about that, but I'm gonna go and buy them again because I really did like them and they weren't that expensive. Get home, go to the gym, eat dinner, and then hopefully be somewhat productive tonight and get something done for like the first week of January, because I should probably start thinking about that. So I went ahead and just put the second day of Christmas gifts right on their desk so they're all ready for them in the morning. And then this student still has the first day of Christmas because they were not here today. But I also have their activity pages out so they can get started on those as soon as they come in. So it's always really nice when I'm not the last person leaving. And I'm happy because it's finally done raining. Hallelujah. So I was like 2 seconds away from going into Michael's with the elf hat still on. Update, Michael's was completely out of the earrings that I wanted, so I got these bow necklaces instead to make it up to myself. Now I am at Five Below, which is actually just down from Target, so I'm right around the corner from my apartment. I need holiday socks because tomorrow is sock day, and my socks from last year do not fit my calves because my calves are absolutely huge, so I'm gonna go to try to find another pair. So Five Below had diddly squat for holiday socks, so I'm just gonna have to suck it up and wear the ones from last year anyway, but I'm headed to the gym now, so I will catch you guys in the next clip. All is right in the world again. I went to Target on my way home from the gym and I found Grinch slipper socks. So this is how you can tell it's the last week before winter break and I've completely given up trying. I have an assistant in my room every day that works with a small group of students on phonics skills. This is actually a lesson plan I had prepared for last week, but she ended up not coming one of the days. So all I did was change the date and reprint it. And to be honest, I have absolutely no shame about doing this. I did want to update you guys on the painted ornament. It's been drying for about a day and a half. For the most part, it is dry, but you can see the little bits of paint that were sticking down from dripping. Those are still a little bit wet, and I used a flashlight to look on the inside, and it looks like most of it's dry, but there's still a couple parts that are still wet. So I think what I'm gonna do is leave it in this other cup and leave it upright so more air can get into it, and hopefully overnight the rest of it will end up drying. It's Tuesday, December 13th. I fell asleep on the couch last night at like 10:30, which never happens. That shows you how tired I am. Still hit the snooze alarm for like an hour this morning. Got up at 7:10. It's now 7:35. I've got to be at school by like 8-ish because I do have a couple of things I've got to do before the kids come in. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to get coffee. My throat hurts this morning, which I'm hoping goes away and it's just from sleeping. But I also had a dilemma with the socks. The Grinch socks were even tighter on my calves than the ones that I wore last year. So I'm going with the ones from last year. Once I get to school, I'll show you what my outfit looks like. It's a little bit ridiculous, but embrace the crazy. So I am gonna go ahead and show you my outfit. It's pretty simple. I have a plain white t-shirt that I think I got at Kohl's, and then this is the red pencil skirt from J. Crew, and then here are my socks, and these came from Five Below, and then the black shoes are from Sears. So this is my elf setup for today. I have him sitting on this little towel and this hair scrunchie as his sweatband, and then marshmallows and toothpicks as his weights. And then I have these cookie crumbs. The best part is I get to eat the rest of the cookie. Good news is we got through all of the ornaments this morning, so they're all made. One casualty, one fell over and broke. Thankfully I had an extra, so it was okay. Trying to put that aside, not get too angry. It's not the end of the world. I did get all of my running records done, so we do something called BAS, Benchmark Assessment System by Fontes and Pinnell. Basically, you sit down with the kid and you read one-on-one, so they read a passage or a book out loud, they answer questions about it. It's a very lengthy process, and we do that twice a year. We do it in the fall and the spring, and normally takes about an hour per kid. But on top of that, we also have to do 3 running records per year. The running records are much quicker because it's just one short passage. When we do BAS, we have to do normally 3, 4, even 5 books with the students. So running records are a lot faster, but we have to do it 3 times in between the fall and the spring. Thankfully, I finished up my last one today, so my first set of running records for each kid is done. I just have to do it 2 more times before the spring. Lord help me. If you remember the last clip where I showed you the elf ball setup, there were cookie crumbs here. They are no longer there because one of my students decided to eat them, and that pretty much sums up how the rest of the day went. On the positive side, the ornaments my students worked on today for their parents actually turned out pretty well, and considering we only had one fall and break, I think I'm pretty satisfied. I definitely want to keep doing this in the future because my students thought it was really, really cool, and I like that the paint's on the inside, so hopefully it will last for a long time. So I'm going to let them dry for about the next 2 days, then I will use a Sharpie paint pen to put their name and the year on it. No words. Literally have no words for today. My kids have lost their damn minds. Like, there's no other way to put it. They were just bonkers, absolutely insane. But looking back on it, one of the things I've learned most in my few years of teaching is that the students really feed off of your energy and your attitude. And looking back on it, I know that I didn't have the best attitude today. I'm very stressed out with everything going on, and I've got a lot on my plate too. I'm burnt out. I'm ready for a break. And I know that I didn't have a very positive attitude from the beginning. So honestly, I'm not going to say I don't blame them because I do expect much better from my students, but at the same time, I understand where they're coming from. They are just as tired and burnt out and ready to be done as I am. They have been taking so many tests in the past 2 weeks, and honestly, they're 7, 8 years old. Like, they're excited for Christmas. They're ready to have a break from school. So I guess I just need to kind of reflect and figure out what I'm going to do differently tomorrow to try to bring them in a little bit and get them a little bit more calm. But for now, it's like 4:30, I think. I don't even know what time it is. I need to be productive because my planning time today was not so productive. One of my friends was subbing in the building and I ended up talking with her, so I didn't get a lot done. So I need to get stuff done now because we have PTA tonight at like 5:45, I guess, but the students are going to start coming around 5:40. I need to be up there to help them get into their spots and make sure everyone's here. And then their winter performance is at 6 o'clock. So until then, I need to make sure that I'm getting my stuff done so that I'm less stressed out and hopefully tomorrow can be a much better day. So this is one of those things I never realized I would have to do as a teacher. When my students take their reading assessments for our county, they are not able to bubble in on the Scantron because they're just not responsible enough yet. So after their test, I have to go through their test booklets, look at their answers, and bubble them in for them on the Scantron. The reading ones aren't so bad because they're only 8 questions, and we do that 4 times a year. The math ones are much worse. The math ones are like anywhere between 20 and 30 questions, and we do that 3 times a year. So I finished bubbling in all of those Scantrons. I have about a half an hour until PTA. I don't even want to attempt to clean my desk right now, which is saying something because I am extremely OCD. I never let my desk get messy, but I just don't have the energy to deal with this right now. These are passages that they did earlier today. Still have not graded them. Don't feel like doing that. These are all of the activity pages that they're doing for the 5 days of Christmas. I did sort them and put them in alphabetical order, which is a start, but I don't feel like stapling them. This is just an assortment of God knows what from the day. More papers. These are actually apology notes that my students wrote to me today because they were being absolutely dreadful. That's definitely something I recommend doing if your class is just off the wall. Make them write apology notes. It usually helps. So I guess I'm going to attempt to clean this, but in all honesty, I want to go and grab a coffee so that I can at least stay awake for their performance. So it's about 7 o'clock in the PTA meeting and winter performance just ended. I am absolutely starving because I haven't had dinner yet. I'm gonna head home, grab a bite to eat, and then I still have plans to do for tomorrow. This is what I meant by sometimes I plan literally day to day, and I have to kind of fill in some extra gaps tomorrow because I was supposed to have guidance, but they had to cancel and reschedule. So now I've got to find some kind of time filler for that block, plus my kids need something tomorrow that's more engaging than what we've been doing because, to be completely honest, I've somewhat been slacking. I haven't been planning really engaging activities, and it's no wonder that their behavior is declining. So I'm going to try to figure out something fun and engaging but still educational-ish for them to do tomorrow. I gave myself a nice pep talk on the way home. I came home with a positive attitude, ready to plan engaging lessons for my students and figure out how to be a better teacher tomorrow. And everything was all good until I realized part of my Christmas tree lights have already burnt out. Are you kidding me? I swear I'm not crazy. It's 9 o'clock. I finally figured out what I'm going to do tomorrow to hopefully engage my students and improve their behavior. Typically this time of year, I like to do a Holidays Around the World unit, and I start that 2 weeks before winter break. However, this year I just have not had the time, so I haven't done anything with it. I felt kind of guilty, so I decided I'm going to attempt to fit it all in tomorrow. Yeah. May the odds be ever in my favor. On top of that, I know for a fact that I'm almost out of brown construction paper, which they're gonna need to make their suitcase, so I'm gonna go quickly run to Michael's and Walmart. Fingers crossed that they have some. I can get it, get home, figure out all the details, and not have to stay up all night. So it ended up being a way more extensive shopping trip than I thought. I started at Michael's. I needed the 12-inch by 18-inch construction paper. They didn't have brown, so I had to settle for white. They're just gonna have to have white suitcases, and hopefully that's okay. Then I got these paper plates, these gallon Ziploc bags, the aluminum foil, and these permanent markers are all for a craft. They're gonna make almost like a stained glass window. I did choose to go with these Bic marking permanent markers rather than Sharpies because they were literally half the cost. I have a bunch of black Sharpies, but I don't have any colored ones, and I need them to be able to color in the stained glass windows. So hopefully these work out okay. I got these in case I do another craft. I don't know. I just saw them and figured I could probably use them. I did get a pack of construction paper only because I needed brown, so I bought a whole pack just in case. Then I did find this craft paper. I thought this would be really good for making their suitcases, but I had already bought the white construction paper. So I may decide to use this. It's gonna take a little bit more effort because I'm gonna have to measure it out and cut it. If not, I'm sure I'll find something in the future. Then I did get this bubble wrap to wrap up their ornaments once they finally dry, if they ever dry. And last but not least, I got coffee creamer to hopefully help me survive tonight. I seriously cannot make this up. I got this marshmallow hot chocolate coffee creamer because I thought it sounded really, really good. And I get home to put it in the refrigerator and realize we already had the exact coffee creamer. At least I'm consistent. So this is completely thrown together last minute, but I thought I'd quickly show you guys what I have. This is their passport. What I really like about this is it's all on one page, so all I have to do is fold it. I don't have to do any cutting, so that's really good. They're gonna fill out their information, and then I actually have stickers of their pictures that came in that I'm gonna use there. Then I have their passport stickers. These are just on plain paper. They're gonna cut them out and glue them down, but they're gonna visit 3 countries, France, Germany, and Italy. I wanted to do 4, but we don't have quite enough time. We're just gonna be able to do 3. This is gonna go on the front of their suitcase, so this will be on their desk in the morning to color while they eat their breakfast. They also have their suitcase tag to put their name on it, and the handles for their suitcase. I did print out a map so they are able to color in the countries that we visit, just so they have a better idea of where they're located. We're also going to use Google Earth with that as well. Then I have the Holidays Around the World mini book that they're going to make. So each country has a page of pictures and a small reading passage. And I do have that for each one of the countries. This came off of TPT as well. I'll put the link to it down in the description, or I'll do a better like update tomorrow of everything that I used. Right now my brain is like fried. So then I have their postcards. So for each, I almost said city, for each country that we visit, they are going to complete a postcard. So this side they will get to color. Tomorrow when I make the copies in the morning, I'm gonna print them double-sided, but this will be the other side of their postcard. So I left this side blank. That way they can choose to either write or draw what they learned. Then these are the templates they get to choose from for the stained glass. And that's what the plastic bags, plates, foil, and markers was for that I showed you guys earlier. So I'm giving them 3 design choices to choose from, and I'll show you guys a closer up version of that tomorrow when we actually do it. Fingers crossed it goes okay because I didn't make a sample. Then on my PowerPoint, I do have this video, and it's like a safety video from an airline, so we're gonna quickly watch that. Then oh, go to the next one. Oh, come on. There we go. Then the next video is actually of a airplane like taking off. So I'm gonna put their desks, or rather their tables in line so it looks like they're on an airplane, and we'll watch this video so it feels legit. This is one of the worst ideas I have ever had. Do not ever let me decide to do this again without having anything prepared and only having a couple of hours to get things ready. Horrible idea. It's 2:15 in the morning. I'm finally getting ready for bed. However, I have to get up extra early tomorrow. Number 1, because we have grade level PLCs every Wednesday morning, so I need to be there ready for PLC by 7:45, which means I really need to get there around 7 because I have a crap load of copies to make from all of this stuff that I prepared. So that means I need to leave my apartment by 6:45, which happens to be like a half an hour earlier than I even woke up today. I'm gonna have to get up at like 6-ish. So I swear if the next clip you see is me saying that I got up late, I'm gonna be so angry. My goal is to get up early. I'm gonna make it a great day. It's holiday, ugly sweater day, so I'm excited. I have the best sweater ever. I'm excited to show you guys. I'm excited to wear it. It's also our staff luncheon, so I don't have to pack a lunch. Regardless of how tired I am and how stressed out I am and how much I'm dreading waking up, I'm gonna just be in a good mood. We're gonna take tomorrow 1 minute at a time. I'm not even gonna say 1 hour at a time. We're gonna do it minute by minute. We're gonna get through it, and it's all gonna work out. I did it. I beat the sun. I did it. It's 6:45. I'm in my car, ready to go. I'm so proud of myself. Bad thing is, I don't think there is any amount of coffee that can make me feel halfway alive today. Do you see it? Do you see the full moon? That explains their behavior all week.
Welcome to Dunkin'. How can we help you?
Good morning. Can I get a large iced coffee with French vanilla creamer, the swirl, and cream, please?
A large iced coffee with cream and French vanilla swirl?
Yes.
Anything else?
Nope, that'll be it.
$2.96.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
6:55, and I've already gotten a compliment on my sweater. So before I do anything else, priorities, I have to show you my sweater. I actually got this from the men's department at Target, but I absolutely love it because sloths are my favorite animal, and I'm literally looking for any excuse to be able to wear it. So I quickly rotated their tables around so it looks like the two aisles of an airplane. This is why I love having tables and not desks. It makes it much, much easier to move it around for things like this. And then I did put out their first activity page for the third day and today's gift, which is elf pillows. When I get back from my PLC meeting, I will give them the second activity page to work on while I am finishing getting myself ready. Please remain seated during the flight at all times. Hold on to the armrests if needed. So real talk, this is what my desk currently looks like. It's 2:30, my planning period just started, and I feel like I have finally been able to catch a breath for the first time today. And here we have an example of the exact opposite of a Pinterest perfect classroom, but real life, this is what my classroom currently looks like. We were rushing to try to finish our holidays around the world. Then we had a fire drill, which ran into my planning time, so I had to quickly take my students to music. We had no time to clean up. I've got chairs sticking out everywhere. It's an absolute hot mess. Ornament update, they're finally dry enough that I could turn them over, so I'm going to leave them right side up like this with the top still off so they can continue to dry on the inside, but I am going to go ahead and use a Sharpie paint pen to write their names and the year on them. So we didn't quite finish with everything today, but I did want to show you their suitcases. They just took the construction paper, folded it in half, and then glued it down the side. That way it kept it all together like one big pocket. They kept all their materials on the inside, which was really good for paper management. The first thing they did was get their passport, and I'm going to cover it up for privacy reasons, but they had their name, their birthday, and their picture. And then this is where they put all of their stamps. I still have to give them France. We ran out of time because we had a fire drill at the end of the day. Then I gave them their boarding pass. They also got their Holidays Around the World book, and this is where it has pictures and text for each one of the countries. Then they created their postcard for each country just to show in either words or pictures what they learned about the holidays in that country. I'm going to give them a little bit more time tomorrow to finish up because we kind of had to rush things today. But overall, I really liked having it all organized in the suitcase. It was just really good to keep it all together. I've also done paper bag books, and those are really good as well, but I liked having the suitcase for the travel theme. So I think when I do this again next year, I'm probably going to use these same materials. I will put the links to all of it down in the description because I kind of picked and chose from different products to find exactly what I wanted, and it was just a hot mess last night, so I apologize, but I'll put all the links down in the description for you. So I still have stuff all over my back counter, my back table. Their tables are still a mess, and I still have stuff all over my desk, but to be honest, I am leaving it. Oops, sorry. I'm just gonna leave it tonight. I'm gonna go home, and anything that's still out, I will kind of take care of tomorrow. I did want to show you this. My students got to go to the holiday store today, which is where teachers bring in items that we don't want anymore, and the students use their Panda Bucks, which is like our school monetary system, to buy the items as gifts for their family and friends. So I actually had 2 kids in my class that bought something for me, which I thought was super cute. I did get this Starbucks mug, which actually is super cute, so I will definitely use this. And I got this grass deer, which I have no idea what I'm going to do with, but it's the thought that counts. So I made it through the day, which honestly for today, I'm going to consider a huge success. I tried to start the day very positive, very calm. However, when I was at my PLC meeting this morning, I'm supposed to have coverage in my room. They did not show up, so my students were in the classroom by themselves for 15 minutes before the office figured it out. So of course, once I got back to my room, it was very chaotic. My students all had things to tell me, and it kind of just went downhill from there. I wish I could say their behavior was better today, but it really wasn't, which is kind of disappointing considering how much time and effort I put into the activity. But when it's all said and done, I know my students enjoyed it. They were all asking to do it again tomorrow, so ultimately, I do think that the time and effort paid off. I think it's an experience they will remember. At least I hope so. But thank goodness tomorrow is pajama day. However, I don't have any pajamas, so my goal is to go tonight, find some pajamas that I can wear, rest up, not really do anything tonight school related. I might do a couple of things. I don't know, we'll see. I'm going to try to just relax because I'm absolutely exhausted. I only got 3 hours of sleep last night. So I'm going to get out of here, go find some pajamas, go to the gym, and go home and go to sleep. So I'm forever convinced that retail therapy makes me feel a million times better. So at Kohl's, I did find a pair of pajamas. These were the only ones I could find that weren't like really heavy fleece and really thick. I like them to be really thin and soft because my classroom gets really, really hot. Then I also got these socks, even though we already had sock day, but I figured I could wear them next year, and I just could not resist. Then I did get 2 pairs of earrings to make up for the ones I didn't get at Michael's earlier in the week. So I got these reindeer earrings, if it would focus, good enough. And I got a pair of snowflake earrings that are somewhere in the bag. There we go. These, because I don't really have any like wintry ones, so could we not do this? Thanks. Then at Target, I could not resist these slippers. I've been looking at them for the past few weeks and they were finally on sale. So I went ahead and got these and I figured they go perfectly with my pajamas. And then I did get How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which I thought I owned, but I actually don't. I do have it on my Amazon like instant video, but I figured I'd go ahead and get a DVD of it. So I feel much, much better. I'm going to take a hot bath and then go ahead and get into bed early. So you know you're a teacher when you finally take off your boots at the end of a long day and you find a strip of staples that you had put down there earlier in the day because your hands were too full to carry them. So at 7:38, I'm on my way to school. Favorite day all year. I'm so excited for this. So it's actually 8:10. I didn't get to school until a little bit after 8 because the line at Dunkin' Donuts was super long this morning. But I'll show you my pajamas and then my slippers. And there's not a whole lot to really show today. We're basically doing crafts and watching a movie, and I'm completely okay with that.
I'm a strawberry.
Yeah, just be careful because you don't want the colors to mix together. Don't sniff it. It's not a smelly marker.
Who got the light blue or the dark blue? Oh, Madison has the light blue.
She's got it.
That's how it turns out. Look, come on.
All right, now we're gonna wrap it behind and tape it. So it's finally my planning time at the end of the day, and you can tell my desk again is an absolute disaster. I don't know what it is about this week. I guess there's just a lot of materials for crafts, and then with students bringing in gifts, and there's just papers all over the place, and it's such a hot mess, and it's stressing me out. But right now I've got other things that I've got to get to before I can clean my desk. So second grade at my school participates in a program called Tales for Dogs, and each class is assigned a dog that comes in once a week for the kids to read to. So our dog's name is Sully, and I'm so incredibly grateful. The lady who brings him in was nice enough to bring candy canes for each of my students, and I already passed those out. She also gave us 3 books to add to my library, which is absolutely incredible, and they're brand new books, which is always really nice. Plus, she brought me this huge tin of fudge, which I've already eaten a piece of, and it's absolutely amazing, plus a Barnes & Noble gift card, so I'm so incredibly grateful that she did that. I've already had students start to bring me in gifts, so I am going to go ahead and use some of my planning time to start writing thank you notes. I do like to write personalized handwritten thank you notes to any of my students' families who bring me in gifts. And look at this candle. I thought this was just absolutely gorgeous. Like, it's too pretty for me to even burn. I think I'm just going to leave it on display. During dismissal today, I got all of their names painted on their ornaments. So tomorrow I just have to tie on this red cord and wrap them all in bubble wrap, and I'm going to send them home just in brown paper bags, which I've already put at their seats to decorate in the morning. So today our elf tried to bring a pet snowman from the North Pole. This is just made out of hot glue, and I used a real carrot. Totally didn't think about it shrinking and getting all mushy throughout the day, which is really, really gross. I definitely need to try to find a fake carrot for the future. So this is how the stained glass craft turned out. This was supposed to be done yesterday with our holidays around the world, but we didn't have time, so we did them this morning. Basically, they put their paper with the design inside of a plastic bag, and they traced over it with a Sharpie. They then used the permanent markers to color it in. They covered just a regular paper plate with foil, and then they put the paper plate with the foil inside of the plastic bag, and then we just taped the extra parts of the bag in the back so that it all looks neat from the front. I thought these turned out really, really good. My students did a really good job tracing them and coloring them in. I was gonna hang them up in the hallway, but my students actually asked to take them home as a gift to their parents, so I'm gonna go ahead and let them take them home tomorrow. So real talk, my mean side came out today big time. I had two students that just kept goofing off. They kept distracting everyone else. They weren't taking anything seriously. They had to move their clip down. They didn't care. They went back to their seats. They didn't care. They had to write sentences. They didn't care. So they missed their whole recess, still didn't care. So when they came back from lunch, the rest of the class was watching a movie, and I sent them out to a different classroom with busy work for them to do. One of the things I made them do was my spelling Scrabble, which is part of my word work pack. It's something that takes them a long time, and I literally just went on Google and found really long Christmas words and said, here, do these words. I feel kind of bad about it, but at the same time, there has to be some kind of accountability, and they have to really realize that there's a consequence for their actions. Unfortunately, because I teach at a Title I school, there's not a lot of parent support. So even when I call home, normally it really doesn't do any good and the parents don't really care. So there's not a whole lot that I can do here. And unfortunately, administration isn't always that supportive. Like if we send a student to the office, most of the time they come back with candy. So I'm trying to handle it as best as I can. I don't know if it was the best way for me to handle their behavior today, but I'm gonna really sit down over break, come up with a plan for the beginning of the year. When we come back, I'm gonna have to start at, zero again. I'm gonna have to basically start over with everyone, rules and procedures, and practicing them and just holding everyone accountable. And unfortunately, I'm kind of gonna have to be a hard ass for a while, which I'm not really looking forward to because that's not who I am. That's not what I enjoy doing. But with the group of kids I have this year, it's unfortunately necessary. But for now, it's 4:30. I have a ton more to do, to be honest, but I am going to go ahead and head out of here. I need to go to the gym. Unfortunately, I'm skipping trivia tonight because I just have way too much on my plate. So I need to wrap student gifts. I still need to figure out my teammate gifts and just a bunch of other things. So I'm going to head out of here and hopefully have a productive night. One more day. I hope I can make it. So you know you're OCD when you only buy the wrapping paper that has the grid lines on the back and you actually count out the same number of squares for every single piece. My student gifts are done, my team teacher gifts are done, and I have my elf letter all ready for tomorrow. It's only about 11 o'clock, so I'm gonna get in bed early so I can get a good night rest before the last day before break. It's December 16th and the last day before break. The only thing that got me through waking up this morning is remembering that I can sleep in as late as I want to tomorrow, and believe me, I'm going to. So right now I'm gonna head to McDonald's and pick up some hot chocolates to give to the ladies that are out at carpool this morning because it is 18 degrees, which in Maryland is absolutely freezing. So I'm gonna get those. I'll show you the quick little sign that I made up to go with it, and then I'm gonna get in my classroom, count down the hours until I can leave and get on break, and I'm literally in survival mode at this point. The last day before break, the only thing that got me through waking up this morning is remembering that I can sleep in as late as I want to tomorrow, and believe me, I'm going to. So right now I'm gonna head to McDonald's and pick up some hot chocolates to give to the ladies that are out at carpool this morning because it is 18 degrees, which in Maryland is absolutely freezing. So I'm gonna get those. I'll show you the quick little sign that I made up to go with it, and then I'm gonna get in my classroom, count down the hours until I can leave and get on break, and I'm literally in survival mode at this point. Fingers crossed I can actually get these to school in one piece. So I was able to successfully make it to school with no spillage, and this is just the quick sign I made up last night, so I'm gonna go deliver these and then get ready for the morning. So it's a Friday and it is a casual day, thank goodness. I always feel so much better when I get to wear jeans, so I just have this sweater from Macy's, jeans, and boots. So thankful for coworkers that bring in donuts. It's finally my lunchtime. I do have kids coming down to eat lunch with me while we watch a movie, but today the kids actually aren't too bad considering it's the last day before break. I do have about 4 kids absent because we have a stomach virus going around, so fingers crossed that I don't end up catching it, but so far it's actually been a really good last day before break. I have kids coming for lunch bunch, so I have to record this very quickly, but this morning I almost messed up big time. I forgot to put out the new note for our elf. Thankfully I only have 1 kid in the room when I realized it, so I was able to very quickly grab the note and sneak it back here. So I just got their presents put out on their desk. I'm gonna have them open it up when they get back from lunch. We're gonna finish up the activity book and then just have our special and party in the afternoon. Do you like it? So my students just went to music and I've set up our back table for the party this afternoon. Basically, I just send home a letter to all of the parents and I give them one item to bring in. That way I ensure there's not too much of any one kind of food. And then for the actual party, typically my students do a craft, but this year I just didn't have time to plan one. I'm such a horrible teacher. But I'm gonna have a movie playing and they will be on the front carpet. I'll call them back one or two at a time to come up and pick out their food. They will leave it at their seat and then go back to the carpet until everyone has their food. Then I will allow them to go back to their seats and eat while we finish the movie. So hopefully it'll be a nice relaxing afternoon and it won't be too chaotic. How stinking cute is this gift card holder that one of my students gave me? I absolutely love that. Plus, anytime a student is able to write my name correctly with the accent over my last E is absolutely adorable. It's officially the end of the day. My last student has left and my room actually isn't in too bad of shape considering we had our party this afternoon. So I did get their tables put back to their original places and I got the kids to clean them down for me. So now I'm just working on putting away the last bit of food that did not get eaten. I'm gonna store it away for snack when we come back from break, as long as it's not a baked good. I've got to get all their suitcases put away and look through and make sure everything's done. Couple other things back here that I've got to get put away, but other than that, it's actually not gonna take me too long and then I can hopefully get out of here early, go home and officially start my break. So I'm ready to get out of here. It's only 5 o'clock, which is way earlier than I anticipated leaving. I was prepared to stay until like 8 or 9 because I felt like I had a lot more to do. I did get my room put back together, at least for the most part. It's good enough for me for now. I was going to stay to do plans for when I come back from Christmas break. However, to be completely honest with you, and if you're an education major, I'm sorry that I'm setting a horrible example for you. I don't recommend you do this. The only thing I have prepared for that first week back is spelling. Other than that, I will figure it out over break. I don't recommend doing that. I recommend having all of your ducks in a row before you leave. However, at this point, I just want to get out of here, start to relax, and I will get it done over break. I promise. But I do have to apologize for this vlog. Any of you who thought that I was organized and had my stuff together have probably changed your minds by now. Hopefully this doesn't make you hate my channel and stop watching, but I do want my vlogs to be a realistic representation of what I go through in my classroom. I know there's plenty of teachers that have their lives together way more than I do, and kudos to those teachers. I'm envious of those teachers, but I'm just showing you guys what my life is actually like. I feel like a lot of teachers who are on social media through a TPT account or Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, we only show those, perfect classrooms and those perfect projects and everything else, and a lot of times we don't want to show the things that reveal that we really don't have ourselves together as much as we make it seem, but I want to be able to show you guys what it's really like, at least for me. So hopefully you didn't hate it. Hopefully you still want to watch my videos. Every single day I learn something new. I'm trying to improve. I'm trying to get better. And this is a good way for me to kind of document that. And hopefully you guys can learn from my mistakes. But I will see you guys in my next video. I'm not sure exactly when that will be. Sometime over break, I hope to upload at least like 2, maybe 3 videos. If I don't, I apologize. I'm human. Sometimes it doesn't happen. But in case I don't make another video before Christmas, I hope everyone has a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, anything else you celebrate, Happy Holidays, and I will see you guys in my next video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment.